Why are you such a whiny baby?
Wow.
I'm totally joking. I don't popped up, and I was. Hi guys.
Wow.
Which is so not
I'm
you,
a whiny
actually.
baby
I'm a
because
crier. You're not.
I am growing.
You're growing.
I have growth pains.
But growth is awesome.
I have growth
Growth
pains.
is there's no such thing as
I have
growing
growth pains because I did this structural integration session to clear out a whole bunch of crap in my joints and also give me more easier mobility and flexibility and take away pain during intimacy and just walking and all that good stuff. And since I've done that session...
And expand energetically, too.
And since I've done that session, which was a very uncomfortable session just from the pain of it. It was not
pleasant.
It wasn't like pleasant. It was like deep tissue.
Wasn't pleasure.
No.
Structural integration usually isn't like super pleasurable.
No. Also known as rolfing and all that good stuff. So as I did that session, I was like, this is not fun. Why did I sign up for this? Yeah. And the practitioner who was doing that, he's like, "You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Have fun with that.
I'm sorry. You're welcome." I was like, "Yeah, I love you too. Wait for payback somehow."
Yeah, and then I had orgasm camp. We had orgasm camp, but I was the one orgasming on the table. So we had that.
See, I didn't have that during my session. There was 0 orgasm. There was just and it wasn't a good
It wasn't a good Well, see, I did have orgasm camp. There wasn't a ton of actual good, deep orgasm happening in the camp.
No,
if I'm going to be honest, but I was very energetically orgasmic. I was energetic. I was orgasmic at that level, but I know I'm holding a ton of stuff in my G-spot right now. Like, I know that. And so 2 days later, and I'm like a cryy mess. She was laughing. She's like, "What?" Because I'm actually right now the cryy mess. And you're messy in different ways.
No, I'm actually just angry.
You're angry.
I'm angry.
I'm
angry. I have just had nothing but anger rise up for no. Anger and anxiety is where I'm just bouncing back and forth, of which I have nothing to be anxious about and nothing to be angry about because my life is fucking amazing. Oops. My life is
fine.
Amazing. I mean, like, everything is so good. Yeah. Like, it really is. I have amazing clients. I've got all my Christmas stuff up, like 95% there. I have that one little section to do today. And then it's just a quick house clean.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, there's money in the bank. There's presents that nobody knows about that's hidden in your house and my house and anywhere else.
And there's love.
There's tons of love. There's a beautiful year that's planning out for next year. Overall, outside of like getting over a little bug, I feel really good, except for this freaking little hip thing going on. And, you know, like everything, when I look at it, my list of amazing is just jam-packed, like my schedule. It's jam-packed. So there's no reason for anxiety or anger. I'm like, give me a baseball bat and give me an old car and let me go to town on that puppy. You know, I'm just like, bam, bam. I really want that. If there's a place in Denton, we're going.
Yes.
Because I need to release some of this. But it's all from, and here's, where our topic is that.
Yeah, because my life is great right now, too. I don't have much to complain about. Like, I'm like, why am I crying mess? Because there's nothing that I'm like super sad about right now.
So, you're holding stuff in your G-spot.
Yep, I am.
I'm
mentally noted, everybody.
I'm holding stuff in my hip flexor and probably in my G-spot too, because I've had some G-spot work done in a more pleasurable fashion with my lover.
With your lover.
My lover. I've had G-spot stuff done. But I've not been that high sensation that I usually would be. And it's very dull. And then I get I don't have the crying, but I have this like anxiety and anger that's being released. Now, in our world, we understand this very, very well.
We just did work.
Yeah, it's just work.
Or
it's just
up.
a session. It's just a clearing. It's just that. But here's the thing is that a lot of the times I think that people come to both of us.
Yeah.
And no matter what they think we do or we don't do, the idea around self-growth and healing, and I think this is really big in the world of healing. Oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to transform. I'm going to do all this deep work and I'm going to expand and it's just going to be so
light, love, butterflies, and unicorns and rainbows. It's going to be amazing.
Unicorns are farting out glitter bombs. And
I'm going to have all these amazing relationships again.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be like touching the big toe of God.
I'm going to meet my soulmate tomorrow. And it's just going to be like the earth shattering.
And the money is just going to be like,
yes.
Oh, that hurt my neck.
It's going to be
it's going to be amazing.
And it's really, like getting into the flow and releasing all that stuff. It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy.
And
how long is it going to take? I mean, like, I think I can get through this in like maybe 1-2 sessions. It's just like, I think I can just move
and it's
through
going to feel good while I'm doing it.
Yes.
It's going to feel amazing while I'm doing it. And actually, there is some truth. There is, like, not all healing, not all inner work has to be like this, like, I'm going to rip myself open. But the truth is, and if you're not, you really need to, where you're ripping yourself open a little bit, then you're not actually truly healing. When you are not experiencing the lows and you are definitely not doing your full healing work. We're headed down to the Tantra Festival, the Austin Tantra Festival at the end this coming weekend. And I'm doing something on shadow work. And last night I was working a little bit on kind of what I was going to be chatting with everybody about and doing. And it really just reinforced this, like, if you're not doing your shadow work, then you're just not doing your freaking work. And that healing sucks sometimes. Healing sucks sometimes. But it's the intention of, like, yes, healing sucks. And you can know that in the moment. You can go, why am I, like, today, like, why am I crying in the car? Like, I have nothing to cry, but why do I feel, like, so over...
Because you're being a crybaby.
I can't
You're just
be.
being a crybaby.
And that's okay. But, like, why am I... And then I go, why am I being such a crybaby right now? Because that's actually my...
You're being a crybaby, and I'm throwing, like, the 3-year-old tantrum. That's what, because this morning I threw a 3-year-old tantrum. I was in my kitchen cleaning, and I just had this tantrum fit come up. And now you wrote an article that toddlers are tantric, and you know what? And that's the truth of the matter, is that toddlers are very tantric. And I was having a toddler tantrum fit. I was moving energy, and it was just all of this different stuff. But
good for you.
But growth ain't always awesome. Growth is not always pleasant. Healing is not always pleasurable and smooth and easy. And I think the biggest thing here is that shadow work is immensely important. And if we avoid doing that shadow work, facing those dark spots inside of ourselves and just kind of keep shoving it underneath the carpet, then what we end up doing is we only can grow. We are only as strong and as expanded as our weakest spot. And if our weakest spot is underneath the carpet someplace, hidden in a closet, then we're not really, we can come at things from here, but if we're not like energetic, you can't lie to the energy. You cannot lie with energy. So it is what it is. And the next big point is that you didn't go into orgasm camp going, man, I really want to dredge up some good tears over the next week.
No!
And like really clear out my G spot. And I didn't go into now I wanted to, I knew that I had stuff stuck there, but I was looking at the physical release of it, in that hip release, and getting my ligaments and everything lined up and stretched out right. That what that would do is that's going to help with lower back pain. That's going to help with my knee pain. That's going to help ultimately with feeling in other parts of my body, strengthen my lower core, all this good stuff, right? All good stuff.
I go into orgasm camp saying I'm going to heal energetically, like it's going to.
And I go into anything like that, like a session, with a completely non-sexual session, and I enter into that going, I want the physical, flexibility and healing from this. Not, I want to be angry for the next week or anxious for the next week or anything like that. But in our shadow work, and I think the biggest thing that a lot of people probably don't realize is that you can't script it out. Like you can't go, I'm going to do this deep dive work right here, and this is where I'm going to plan crying, and this is where I'm going to plan getting a little upset, or dive into this, or no, like you can be in an intimate moment with your partner and all of a sudden have some severe emotion
or get angry, or have trauma come up, or have all this stuff come up. You can, and it's not even intimate stuff too. Like this goes beyond just the intimate. Like our coaching clients, like they'll come in and they'll be like, well, like our straight up coaching clients will be like, okay, so like this is gonna be fun, this is gonna be exciting, this is gonna really move me forward. And while that is true, whenever we're doing growth, whenever we're doing expansion, we have to face ourselves. We have to look in the mirror. And when we look in that mirror at any level, it's difficult. It's difficult because we're human and we don't want to truly see ourselves at that level. Like that's just not an easy process to look in the mirror at all that stuff. And in truth, like you never know when energy is going to get released in your body. Like you can't plan that, because I can tell you, I've gone into personal like session work going like, okay, I'm going to release this, and then I'm going to be messed up, and then I'm going to move forward. And guess what? That work? It doesn't work, because you go in, and I go in with the intent of like, okay, this is my scheduled F up time. Like I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to give myself 2 hours to crawl. And guess what? During that session, during that whatever I'm doing, that meditation, usually if I am like so focused in on,
you're up here
releasing, like you get up here and you don't actually release the energy. And sometimes energy just isn't ready to release.
So we can't force our healing?
No. That's a no. No, you can't do that.
Can we force our growth? I mean, like,
you can step up into your growth, but you cannot force your growth. You can go, I'm going to step forward. I'm going to do that coaching program. I'm going to choose to start looking at this stuff, but you cannot force the growth. No. You grow as fast as you grow. You expand as fast as you expand.
It's all about, I mean, the word that nobody ever wants to hear, but we all desire so much. It's all about surrender. It really is. Like you have to surrender to the growth. You have to surrender to the healing. You have to surrender to that process. And you can't come into it just thinking it. You can move through any task. You can move through any work, any body work session, or journal prompts, or reading, or seminars and workshops and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, like I really saw a lot like in our workshop this weekend. You know, there's been a lot of feedback. It was beautiful feedback. But there's been a lot of feedback from that. And a lot of the feedback that I receive from people is, oh, what about this? What about that? And it's all from the headspace. It's all intellectual based. It's all, I'm thinking about this. So tell me the 1, 2, 3s of how to get there. 3 is surrender, surrender, surrender.
Somebody actually brought up surrender in our workshop, and they were like, well, how do I surrender and my initial thought was, you just do it. You just do it. So surrender is not something you get to control, or you get to go, I'm going to surrender right now. Well, guess what? That's not a surrendering energy. You're not going to.
It's just like forgiveness. Like you can say, I want to forgive somebody, but you can speak it for 5 years, and then all of a sudden it just happens when you stop thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Just like grieving, you know, we grieve the loss of things in our life
sometimes.
And we're like, I'm just going to be done with this grieving process. And you can go, I'm just done with this grieving process. And I'm going to just put that over there, and I'm carrying on with my world. And now I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy now because I'm done with the grieving process. But at the back of your being, you still have this like, just this
depression, low grade
like a melancholy feel to you of that you're just not fully charged. You're just not 100% there. You know, I'm very great at that one of like, I'm going to just grieve this and then I'm just done. Like this is definitely one of my points. Like this is, you want to know where my crap's at.
Where you're
I'm like, here's my crap. here's my crap. Like, I never know when I'm angry, and I'm always done with that grieving process. And then I go, and then somebody will be like, you just don't seem that happy to me right now. I remember when my mentor said that to me, and I cried. One freaking line from her, and she's like, you just have this like cloud around you of depression and sadness.
I remember a couple of years ago
and
when
I
you
was
got
just
that
like,
feedback.
and on the outside, I'm going, you know, like, and I'm like putting myself out there, and I'm doing all this, but I was like, why is this not clicking? And one sentence in, she says, I just feel this like cloud around you of sadness. Like, you don't worry, you can move through that really quick, but you need to first off own it. And then what was her message to me? You need to surrender to it. You need to actually let yourself feel it and move through it and just get it all out the best you can, and then don't worry about it. Just go from there.
Yeah.
And that's anything. I mean, that's what surrender is too.
Yeah.
Like, you can't surrender. You can't go, I'm going to surrender.
But you have to own it first. I think you hit a point there, is that like you have to own it. You have to own your insecurity. You have to own your depression. The fact that you're angry. You have to own the fact that maybe you are just messed up for a moment. Maybe you are just hormonal. That's not to say that you deep dive, like, let me wallow in it for months. Like, that's a different process, but to just have love and compassion, and that's the only way to truly move through it, is just like have love and compassion. Just be like, this is where I'm at.
Love your humanness.
Yeah, that's because in truth, like, you won't move forward if you really don't.
My ex-husband is messaging me right now.
You really won't get the growth that you deserve. In truth, those messed up points are beautiful, because like this morning, just giving you a heads up, I'm a little messed up, and I earlier was like, just giving you a heads up, I'm a little messed up as well, like communication. But to me, that's like a beautiful thing, and I know you've been communicating with other people in that way too. That's actually such a beautiful process, and such a healing process, just in that, to go, hey, so this is just where I'm at, and like owning that, and like being okay with kind of, instead of putting on the happy face and going, I'm gonna power through, instead of just going like honoring to other people, when you just go like, no, like, oh, here's all my crap, like that is a different process. But to go like emotional, 4 hours, I'm just letting you know, or I'm really angry, whatever that is, and then how honoring and how you got to have a tantrum. You got to give yourself a tantrum. Like, I know that doesn't, but it's true. No.
I'm so proud of myself. I just like, I threw a tantrum. I didn't really throw a tantrum though.
No, but to like. Alrighty.
So about that.
But no, but truly, to be able to like sit and just be like, no, I'm gonna act. That's okay, and I can.
Hey, dog, out from underneath the tree. Now, get your ball. All right, hold it.
The ball, tree, and they're gonna knock over the tree. So there's a whole drama going on behind the scenes, behind the camera.
Look at my tree, guys.
She has a pretty
look at
tree.
My tree. You see my tree? See? Isn't it pretty? Yeah.
I have pretty
trees too. And now, dog. See the dog? This thing right here. See that thing?
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa, I'm gonna throw up.
She's got a ball, and she's chasing the ball around the house. Sweet little puppy.
But yeah, I think it's
tantrum on the dog.
You always want tantrum on the dog. You don't like your dog.
I love my dog. I love my dog. It wasn't my dog. Anybody want a dog? I always am trying to get my dog. Oh, there goes the fan. Buzzing on there. I forgot to silence the phone all the way. Family thread.
But I think, yeah, it really is just that healing isn't all these sunshine and rainbows, and sometimes it can be. Like, I think there are moments in our healing, you know, like, I'm doing this. Like, this is awesome. Like, yay, me. And just as beautiful moments. Like, I saw a meme yesterday that our growth isn't on the yoga mat. It isn't in meditation. It isn't this. And I actually disagree. It was like, you can have beautiful moments on your yoga mat, in your meditation, I think those can be growth moments, but I think you're just looking at different growth.
The boys, my youngest two, over to their dad's house. The sun was rising, and there was just this, it was like, it still looks like it's going to rain here, but it was supposed to snow tomorrow.
We don't do that. We don't do that in Texas.
But there was these dark clouds going across the sky, and then the sun was rising, intense orange and hot fiery pink coming up over the field, and it was so pretty. I looked over my shoulder and I was like, boys, look at the sunrise. And they both looked, and Gabe, my 6-year-old, he goes, yeah, Mom, it's just the sunrise. And Rowan, my 4-year-old's just like, he's like, oh, that's so pretty. I told my 6-year-old, I told both of them in this moment, I was just like, I said, it's so important to take in all those moments, because and I told them, I said, there's growth. I think I used the word growth. There's growth in that. Like, you need to learn how to appreciate. Has to go right for that sun, for us to go around the sun and not fly into that ball of fire every single day. Like, do you know how much has to actually go right for us not to fall into the ball of fire,
and for the sun to look just like that,
to look just right, and for this, and I started going through all these things, and the whole point to that is that there's growth in that, because there's an
expansion. But there's an expansion in it, she says. But there's also, that's not what all our growth is. It really is like owning when it's like, no, this is a beautiful expansion. This is growth. Because sometimes actually our hardest things to grow in is our joy, is our gratitude, is our play. Sometimes that is really truly claim to brag about ourselves, to be in the gratitude. Like, sometimes that is our growth, but also sometimes our growth doesn't always have to look beautiful and pretty. And I think we do get into this like spiritual bypassing at times with all like the growth focus I'm seeing right now in just like communities online and in person. And like, sometimes we do spiritually bypass. We go, oh, well, like, I'm better than I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm focused in on the positive. I'm focused in on high vibe anymore. I don't Good luck with that.
I don't have to work on my physical, body work anymore. I don't have to do those kinds of sessions that release things like that. I don't need to hit the pause button and witness where my crap is at and own it anymore. I don't have to.
Or I always do that.
I've been hearing a lot of I don't have to do that anymore. I'm above that now. Yeah. I'm above that now.
Look at that.
And
good luck with that.
I'm above that. I don't need to explore whatever this is or that is. Somebody tell me
Gandhi still did. Before he died, he was still doing that. I had
somebody recently tell me that they didn't need their mentor anymore. I'm not their mentor, but they told me that they didn't need their mentor anymore, that they have now reached this plateau where they feel like they've really got it all and they don't need anybody to lead them anymore. And I'm like, wow.
That's crazy. So, maybe you outgrew your mentor. That's fine.
Yeah, because we outgrow our mentors.
We outgrow,
but the most successful people in the world and through all of history had at least 3 mentors going at any given time, and was focused on that growth and expansion to understand that somebody else has a different viewpoint and different insights, and you need that leadership. When you become uncoachable,
it's a problem.
Yeah,
it's a big problem.
It is. And now this person always told me, well, God's now going to be my mentor. I'm like, that's fine and dandy, like spirit leads, but at the same time, spirit also moves through people, your fellow human beings. And there's growth in being able to be witnessed, just the witnessing process that we get. So and I love that word I use it a lot, because
so powerful.
I'm like, you need to witness your thoughts. You need to witness your feelings. You need to be witnessed. You need to witness others, because there's so much power and growth in that. Like, you really have to face your shadows. You have to face
you have to be witness in your not beautiful points and your beautiful points.
And a lot of coaching work is just that. It's just witnessing people. Yeah. It really is. It's just witnessing and holding space and then being able to guide. But, I think that we do kind of think that it should just be this easy, breezy process. And if we, there should be a few little, tough spots, but not anything necessarily that should be too much. Like, I should just get it. I should just know this. And it should take, here's the time frame. And
sometimes that's other people putting that expectation on us. And sometimes that's us putting our own expectation of, like, I shouldn't be this upset. I should, so just kind of look at if that is your thought process when if you're doing the work and you get into that darker place and you're like, why? Like, I thought I was above this. Where that is coming from. Like, is that a should on self? Like, me driving this morning and going, like, I should not. I was shitting on myself this morning. Like, why am I so messed up? And then,
is that what I'm selling? All the shitting?
But, and I was like, I should not be, like, bawling my eyes out right now. And I was like, it is where it is. And then I was like, oh. But also look at, like, are other people telling you, like, oh, if you've got a lot of people around you going, like, no, you just need to be high vibe, you just need to focus only on the positives, then that's also, like, look at that. Because in growth, any spiritual teachers, leaders, expansion requires both. You have to be able to, hold keep your eye on the prize as far as, like, yes, I want high vibe, I want to pull more positive into my life, but also own and hold that emotion and that humanness as well. Yeah. There is a harmony in that. So
that's for sure. So
anything else you feel like you've got on this one?
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
all the time. All the time. The highs and the lows, it comes back to our belief structure that everything should just be right here. And that when we do this in any format, that there's something wrong. Yeah. But we are built to do this. And is that path. Mm-hmm. Our emotions, our growth, our intimacy, our relationships. We always have an ebb and a flow. And it is getting good at surfing that ebb and flow that we have to do. And when we get good at the surfing, then life becomes beautiful, no matter how we are perceiving that particular moment. If we're challenged or not, it's just, this is just part of the beautiful moment. So it's just part of the wave, right? It's just part of it. So just to regain.
Yeah, especially going into the headed into the new year, and I think a lot of people are going into they're like, I'm gonna expand in the new year, which is beautiful, and I'm like, you do that, but just make sure that you have realistic expectations for what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. As a coach, yes, I want you to work with me, but I paint expectations of, like, no, this is all going to be amazing, and there are those people out there that will be like, no, it's just, you're lying to get clients, you're lying to people, because I don't care what you're dealing with, like amazing.
No, there's always sticky. Enjoy the sticky challenges, not those kind of sticky spots, Addison. St. Camp. Oh,
I'm not thinking your brain went there and mine did not. I was like, yes, explain. You're warped right now.
As long as I don't have to sleep on it, I don't care. Yeah. So
on that note,
what do you have going on?
So
I know you have a sold out puja.
I have a sold out, so you can't get into that. I have a holiday
over and it was sold out.
I have a holiday special going on. You have a holiday special going on.
What's your holiday special?
I have the elves made me do it. I have all my coaching.
Elves, like she did the creepy elves.
Yeah,
I did
the
a
creepy
puppy
little
dog.
elves.
She did elves.
They whispered in.
Although I have a creepy little elf sitting all over my house.
Do.
So.
But it's the elves in video. So my consult is cut in 50%, and then my programs also, I have deals going on. A whole bunch of stuff. I have a whole bunch of stuff happening in June. Really excited for this coming year.
I know we were looking at our schedules, and it is just
new stuff. I have online stuff coming out. But I need like another week before I start announcing shit. So.
Oh, well, that's next time. I've got the 12 days of effing amazing, awesome. And that is just what it is. It's different bundles of coaching. It's all online. So because I don't have any more local stuff, and I'm not running any deals because I'm like, I've got so much stuff going. So I'm just doing bundles. So if you are,
which is an amazing deal.
So yeah, the bundles range between like $1,300 to $1,700, and I'm doing it all. You get like anywhere from 5 to 8 programs that can add up to $1,800 worth of content value if you were to wait, until January. Then you'll pay $1,800 for the same amount that you get for under $200 now. Don't be an idiot. Don't wait till January to then go and pay more for one workshop than when you could get all 8.
If you do the business bundle, you also get me included.
That's true. The business bundle does include her. And no, actually all bundles include both of us.
Yes.
I am marketing both of us. because there's the oral class that we both taught there, and I have both of those. And then monetizing bosses. Right, is in the business.
Yeah, I'm joking.
No oral class in the business one. But I have a goddess bundle, and then I have a male bundle, and then I have the boss bundle. Yeah. Which is unisex. It's just for entrepreneurs and just how to build an online business and how to, as a, if you're a practitioner, to know how do I break into really claiming a business for myself in 2020. Well, that's the bundle for you. So, yeah.
And if you want to do coaching with either of us, get on our lists now because I'm not sure how many more clients we're going to be able to date.
I'm actually starting a waiting list for January. So there's where I'm at.
I'm not at waiting list, but I'm almost at waiting list.
I'm on waiting list. So, yeah.
So, hurry.
I need somebody to go, oh man, this is too big of a challenge. I can't do this work anymore. And then I might have a spot available.
So, well, on that note, you can follow me at addisonbell.net or at Addison K. Bell on Facebook.
Oh, it's my website turn. I'm like, what are you doing?
Did you just touch me?
I'm sorry. I probably got that shit all over me. Damn. I don't like your shitty.
You don't want my shitty stuff.
I don't want your shitty stuff.
Ow, my back.
Stop shitting on yourself and your back won't hurt.
It's my tattoo, not my...
Oh, well, all right. She got a tattoo.
It's not done. They messed it up. I wasn't aligned.
Oops. Anyways.
It's another
challenge.
What's your website?
That's my website.
Her website is Tantric Transformations.
It's KendallWilliams.com. That's the easy one. Nobody can spell Tantric Transformation. Do you know how many people can't spell transformation? It's ridiculous.
KendallWilliams.com or Kendall Renee Williams. You can find her there.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. Guys, we will see you in 2 weeks for another Free Spirit Talks. Bye.
Bye.